Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a new edition of our show titled Speak of Africa. Brothers and sisters, we're very, very happy to meet you again this week. We thank you very much for sharing our last video and the other videos also. We also thank our viewers and we also thank our subscribers. You're doing a great job. Please keep on subscribing. Keep on telling your friends and family members to watch this show. From the very beginning, we had assured you that this was going to be your show, and the purpose of this show is to give you a voice. We hope we are really meeting your need. And if we don't, please don't fail to let us know, because we really want us to remain like a family, and we want you to continue watching us, and we want you to continue. Please share the videos with your family and friends, then tell them to watch, and also tell them to tell a friend. Because when you tell a friend, more and more people get to know about our new revolution. We have a whole lot of news for you today. A whole lot of news that is breaking out in Africa. So most of the time what we do is we try to summarize much of what is happening, because we know you don't have too much time to waste. We value your time and we value your effort. So for the show of today, we're going to really title this show Naive Nigger or Capitalist Nigger. That's the question that we're going to be asking. Are you a naive nigger or are you a capitalist nigger? In the past, you guys were telling us we need solutions. We've diagnosed a problem. Our problem is France and other colonial masters. We don't want to rest there. So right now, we want to focus more on solutions that we're providing for our continent. Okay? So we're going to begin the show of today by being close to home. We're in America. As they say, charity begins at home. For the show of today, we're going to begin by expressing our sadness for the passing of Bernard Tyson. Bernard Tyson is the chief executive officer of Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanente is a very big HMO, health management organization or health maintenance organization in the United States. So he was a black CEO. He just passed a few days ago, and his family and other black individuals in our community are really mourning his passing. So we want to join with his family to really mourn his passing. He was a great individual because he represented the kind of person we need in our community. The black community, including all the Africans in the diaspora, has not really been doing well because we don't really have able people in our community who are bringing us together. But we've decided now to start doing something to bring all of us together as one people. So please join us in mourning Bernard Tyson. At the same time too, much of what is happening in our community is some people are really politicking. Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble. He's running for re-election come 2020, and some of the blacks are either joining him or some are getting out. In fact, those who are getting out will call it black it, because the blacks are leaving. Most of them are leaving the Democratic Party. Initially, a lot of the blacks were with the Republican Party, the GOP. You can understand, with the Emancipation Proclamation declared by Abraham Lincoln, who was a Republican, the people just felt that, well, this is the guy who gave liberty to slaves, so all the people in the black community decided to become Republicans. But Lyndon Johnson changed all of that in, I think, 1964 with the Civil Rights Act. So most of the blacks made a U-turn. They left the Republican Party and came to the Democratic Party. So far, it looks like both parties are really taking black people for granted. So what they need to do is to bargain so that they can find a better footing. And we think that's what we need to do. Most of us who are Africans in America, we have to start thinking about our political power. We mentioned the Jewish people last week, and some of you guys like the idea, some of you criticize the idea, but we want you to feel free to criticize us. We're just tabling ideas that we think can really move our community forward, okay? So when we look at the show of today, are you a naive nigger or are you a capitalist nigger? In fact, this term, capitalist nigger, is borrowed from a Nigerian author and publisher called Chika Onyeani. Chika Onyani was the publisher of a very famous African newspaper called the African Sun-Times. The paper was very popular in most African communities in the United States, and I've had the occasion of meeting Mr. Chika Onyani. It looks like he was a diplomat who decided to go into politics, and he did very well. So he published this book, The Capitalist Nigger. The book is available on Amazon.com, and I would really encourage a lot of our people to pick up a copy of the book and read. Because what the book is saying is, in order for us to move ahead, we need to think like a different type of nigger. Because whether we like it or not, most white people and our colonial people describe us as niggers. So whether you don't like it, that's a term that they will tag you on you, okay? So if you want to be a nigger, our argument is, do not be a naive nigger. A naive nigger is a nigger who is not conscious, who is not aware. We're living in a system which is very capitalistic. America is like a market. But we don't really understand that if you live in a system which works like a market, then you need to be an entrepreneur. You need to be a business person. Because if you're not a business person, it's just like, as they say, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. You cannot be in America, then you are not a business person, because it means you don't have anything to sell. But the truth is, we want to prove to you, our brothers and sisters, that you have a whole lot going for you that you can sell in this marketplace. God has given you your own talent. In fact, there's a video we're going to share with you today, which we call God's cell phone number. God has given talent to each and every one of you. You just need to look for problems that are in the society, then you see how you can fulfill those solutions. You need to come up with answers to problems. That's the genesis of all business. All business begins when you try to look for solutions. When you look at Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. So watch this video for a minute. It's going to tell you how you can really start a business. Then it presents some of the pioneers who have done well. So I'll give you a minute to watch this video. I call it God's cell phone number.
Wealthy people don't necessarily look for money. They create solutions, and money will follow them. Larry Page and Sergey Brin went all out to help humanity find things faster on the internet, and billions of dollars followed them. Mark Zuckerberg created platforms for socialization, and over $71 billion followed him. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak went all out to reduce the size of computer, and billions of dollars followed them. You! What problems are you solving for humanity? Some people spend weeks on the mountain praying for financial breakthrough without knowing what to do to be rich. They just want to be rich anyhow. It doesn't work that way. Real wealth comes through solving problems. Real wealth comes when we take a critical look around us, see the challenges that surround us, and proffer solutions to them. One of the major reasons why millions of Africans live below the poverty line is our belief that magic wands will suddenly mint money for us. How many cups of mustard seeds did Mark Zuckerberg eat that made him an instant billionaire? How many bottles of anointing oil did Jeff Bezos drink that turned him into an overnight owner of Amazon? If all can listen to the voice of God and do the right thing for humanity, God will be happier.
Okay, thank you for watching this video titled God's cell phone number. There's another video which one of you sent to us. In fact, it refers to some of the problems we face in the black community. Why are we not really doing well? Just as Professor Chika Onyani says in The Capitalist Nigger, we need to change. Instead of being a naive nigger, we need to become a capitalist nigger. We need to become a business person, okay? Instead of looking at ourselves as victims, we need to look at ourselves as warriors. Go and get it, okay? This is what members of other communities are doing. So they don't just sit. They use what they call the spider web theory. The spider web theory means that we start acting like spiders, okay? We build a net, then when money comes in it, we close it up so that the money doesn't get out. So the money stays in our community and continues circulating. This is what is happening in other communities. But it's not happening in our community because we're not really organized, okay? And there's another video which I'm going to share with you, which I call the theory and practice of spider theory.
Black people spend, on average, $2 billion a year on Air Jordan, $4 billion a year on liquor, $1 billion a year on fast food. You saw what just happened with Popeyes. $40 million dollars in a matter of hours.
Yes.
And we weren't even paid for that. Black women spend almost $20 billion a year on hair care and beauty products. But yet, there's not a black community in the United States I can go to where you can show me a black community that has all four of the essential institutions, which are a bank, a school, a supermarket, and a hospital. A bank to invest in the people, a supermarket to feed the people, a school to teach the people, and a hospital to save the people. How does a $2 trillion people, that's what we are, the richest group of Africans in the world, the 10th richest nation on the planet, there's only 9 groups of people who bring home more take-home pay than African Americans do. And we don't have an independent community. There's 2 reasons for that.
This brother really says it breaks it down so that the average person can really understand. We don't have our own schools. We don't have our own banks. We don't have our own supermarkets. We don't have our own hospitals. So we need to have all these institutions in our community if we're going to move forward as a people. And the challenge now is for some of you who have talent to use this talent to create these institutions, which is what we're really telling you today. Because you have a whole lot of talent and we want to show you how you can use this talent. In fact, so many of you last week responded happily with your business ideas and we're really happy. One, some of you were talking about healthcare businesses like home health care. Some of you were talking about publishing books. Some of you were talking about opening clinics. Some of you were talking about opening a tax business. Some of you were talking about real estate business. So you've been discussing a whole lot of business ideas with us, and we were telling you that we're going to help you in realizing some of these business dreams because we'll take you from point A to point Z. So just continue talking to us. We will not divulge your identity so far. We'll just wait until we work on an idea. Once it's working, then we'll bring you to the show and you'll talk about your business idea and you'll be able to share your success with the public. So that's what we're trying to do with this show.
Life insurance money secrets of millionaires and billionaires exposed. Discover how America's rich and famous exploit these arcane tools to build fabulous wealth. Why should these big white guys have all the fun? Let Prince Ojong, the celebrity author of The Miraculous Millionaire, show you the little understood life insurance way to riches. Are you still doubting the good things that life insurance can do for you? Trust strategies, estate planning, 401k rollover, annuity contract, cash value, education funding, executive benefits, income protection, life protection, living benefits, mortgage protection, tax-free retirement? Think and grow rich with life insurance. Your amazing journey to wealth begins by calling Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131.
So today, we're going to take you now to Nigeria, okay? Nigeria, so much is happening in Nigeria, and we're telling you what is really in the mouths of a lot of people. We've been talking about the founder of Sahara TV, Omoyele Sowore. We've talked about him so many times on this show. As we were coming to the studio, we were told that protesters were arrested by the Nigerian security forces because they were protesting against the continuous stay in prison of Omoyele Sowore. They are really tired that their hero is still held up. They want him to be free. So you can really see a whole lot of videos and pictures in the Nigerian media. You look at most of the newspapers, they are talking about people protesting against the Nigerian government because they're holding Sowore for so long. So we are thinking that it looks like the holding of Sowore for too long seems to be a plot that is really linked to Muhammadu Buhari's attempt to run for a 3rd term in Nigeria. Because insiders have told us that the same idea that Olusegun Obasanjo had to run for a 3rd term as president, Buhari is nursing the same ambition. In fact, in the very beginning, we thought he was very, very close to his vice president, Mr. Yemi Osinbajo. But so far, the firing of over 35 members of Mr. Osinbajo's team makes us very, very suspicious of what is going on in the Buhari camp. It looks like Mr. Buhari is trying to clip the wings of Osinbajo. Osinbajo is a very able guy. He's a very, very important lawyer, very, very able politician. The short time that Mr. Buhari went to London and he was sick for a while, he ran the country perfectly. People saw the caliber of this individual, and a lot of Nigerians are really looking forward to Yemi Osinbajo becoming president of their country. But it looks like his popularity is really hurting Mr. Buhari. He doesn't like when he hears that Osinbajo is very, very capable. So the second time when he left the country, he did not relinquish powers to Osinbajo. He decided to travel and sign documents abroad. So already we can tell that there's a rift going on, and it looks like Mr. Buhari doesn't want Osinbajo to run for president. He wants to tamper down any ambitious individual who wants to run for president, because he still wants to run for a third term. But this is going to create a very serious crisis in the country, because we know Nigeria very well. If he tries to do this, it's going to cause a whole lot of headache, and we don't really know why he's trying to do this, but it's going to create a whole lot of problems. We know Nigerians are not like Cameroonians, who are very timid. They will fight for their freedom. Nigerians will not sit quietly and wait for one individual to rule them for 40 or 50 years. It will not work. So I really appreciate my Nigerian friends. I know they will stand up to the task. Okay, next, we're going to move to Cameroon. And the news that we're going to break out, there's so much happening in Cameroon. A few months ago, we had told you the story of President Paul Biya's visit to Geneva, Switzerland. This time, Mr. Paul Biya went to France, Paris, France, for a meeting, for a peace conference. When he went to this peace conference, he just made a fool of himself. You're going to see so many videos. Mo Ibrahim, the communication industrialist, was holding a debate. He was asking Mr. Paul Biya questions about Cameroon, and Mr. Paul Biya could not even answer the questions. First, Mr. Paul Biya behaved like he was confused. He did not really understand the English. He pretended as if maybe there was a technical glitch.
Do you hear me? Can you translate the question, please, to him? We now have a problem between, in the north of the country, English-speaking, and the French-speaking part of the country, and there have been fighting.
Alors, il demande par rapport à l'application de cette collaboration intra-nation à l'intérieur d'un même pays, faisant référence aux difficultés que votre pays connaît entre les différentes communautés. Est-ce que ça s'applique aussi au niveau d'un même pays?
Oui, c'est difficile à dire l'histoire de mon pays. L'histoire de mon pays, Monsieur le Président, est compliquée. Nous avons été d'abord colonie allemande, ensuite, après la Première Guerre mondiale, l'Allemagne a perdu ses colonies.
But this is an individual who has been running a country for over 37 years, and he can't speak English. When you ask him a question in English, he mumbles. So Cameroonians were able to see the kind of buffoon they have for a president. To make matters worse, BAS, the Brigade Anti-Sardina, the opposition group that is in Europe against Mr. Paul Biya, was able to go to Maurice Hotel. Hotel Maurice is the hotel where one Commissaire Zogo, Gino Zogo, had challenged Biya face-to-face a few years ago. Why would this Mr. Biya guy return to this hotel where he was confronted by protesters from Cameroon? Why? So it just tells you that these people are creatures of habit. They don't really learn, okay? They said it looks like it's difficult for a leopard to change his stripes, which is basically what we see with this Biya guy. He went to the same hotel, and we have so many videos and pictures to show you. It's like a big show going on. The protesters were everywhere, and the French police were barely struggling to contain them. The protesters even beat up most of the security guards that Mr. Biya brought from Cameroon, And those security guards had to escape. And you could see the pictures everywhere. There was just a whole lot of people in the streets. The French people were just confused. What was going on? They kept asking themselves, what's going on? What's going on? The people were just protesting the presence of Mr. Biya in Paris. When he went to Lyon, the Brigade Anti-Sardinat was not well prepared. But this time they were very, very well prepared, and they really gave him a run for his money. And you could see the pictures. It was such a great show. If you even look at videos of Mr. Biya walking to a limousine in Champs-Élysées, you see the guy cannot even walk. He barely struggles to walk. But that's the guy who is running the country, killing people every day. So it's very, very sad when you watch this video. The guy cannot even walk. They have to help him. But that is the guy who is running the country. And people feel he's a devil because he keeps killing a lot of people, and people are really sick and tired of him, which is why most of these protesters were out. But it's interesting the way protesters behave. The problems don't even end there. So these problems are just like a backdrop of what is actually happening in Cameroon itself. When you look back home, what is happening? We have so many newspapers which we want to share with you. We have the images of so many newspapers which can give you a window on what is really happening in Cameroon today. If you look, their legislative and municipal has given the order that those elections should take place. And all the French slaves have to obey him and let the elections take place, even if the elections are going to be a sham. Okay? Sham elections are normal in this part of the world. So they're going to take place. Okay, next, we want to take you to the plight of motorbikers in the capital city of Yaoundé. For a few days now, they have been striking because the governor of the central province decided to restrict their access to the main parts of the city. They were limited from plying their trade in the area where you have most government offices and nice buildings. So the government only wanted taxi cabs to go to those areas. And you have over 30,000 members of this motorbike association, which is called, I think, Yaba. So these people were really protesting because some of them are university graduates. They don't really have jobs. The government cannot provide them employment. So instead of going to Europe or dying in the Mediterranean by trying to go to Europe, these guys have decided to stay at home and try to make a living. Now they are being deprived of a means of livelihood. When we read the explanation from the governor, it says that they wanted to make sure that the city is secure, then the foreign visitors can have a nice atmosphere when they visit Yaoundé. But what about the livelihood of these motorbikers? So they felt like they were pitching these guys against taxi cab drivers. So there was just like big riots going on. And you can see this, and we say we need to look for better ways to resolve issues like this in a nice society. Then we're going to move you now to a terrible accident that took place on the Yaoundé-Douala road. So accidents have become like death traps on most roads in Cameroon because for over 37 years, the president has not been able to build decent roads, and most of the guys who control traffic on these roads are very corrupt. So a lot of times they just allow drivers to ply through the roads without even the right documents. Then sometimes the guys are drunk. So this is a very terrible accident that you can see. We have the pictures and videos to show you. Over 40 people died. But my people always have something funny happening even when there's a tragedy, which makes one of my former professors say Africans tend to lack a tragic consciousness. While people were dying, some people were busy drinking around the scene because there were a lot of drinks that were stolen from the vehicle that was damaged. So people were drinking at the scene while their brothers lay dead. So this was really a very macabre scene, but we were surprised when we saw so many people drinking at the scene instead of lamenting the death of their brothers and sisters. So we didn't really like this. Then, of course, again, in La République, you could also see the pictures of the funerals of the people who lost their lives in Bafoussam. Maurice Kamto, we understand, visited the scene. Immediately, the people started calling him Monsieur President, Monsieur President. You could see so many people clamoring in the city of Bafoussam to come and meet their leader, Maurice Kamto. Immediately, Bia's officials saw that Maurice Kamto was becoming very popular. They sent soldiers to whisk him away from the scene of the funeral. So only the Prime Minister of La République was left to officiate at the event. We really feel sorry for the people who lost their lives in this landslide, and we just hope that God can accept their souls. So next, we're going to leave Cameroon now and move to Ambazonia.
Hey, yo, Shay, I thought you was going to take me to this place so I could get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy Shake. When I say his services are the best in the states, word is born. He even take care of your tax forms, back refunds. So come, get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing. No waiting, this man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
All is not well in Ambazonia. You could still see a lot of pictures of the Biya government burning villages, especially like the village of Awing. You can see the village in flames. All the houses are burnt. So the people have to run to the bushes. So it's really, really sad. But as we told you, the people are fighting back. They are getting more weapons. You could see most of the Amba guys, they have their machine guns. Some of them, they carry a machine gun on their chest with a lot of bullets. Then they are even trying now to fight for unity. So most of them want to really revenge most of the killings that are taking place. In fact, one of the revenge that we saw, you can see a video of an adjutant who is a soldier from B, La République. So the Amba Restoration Forces caught this guy, and it's a Bulu guy, a member of Mr. Bia's tribe. They captured him and decided to disgrace him and torture him to death. It's a really macabre scene, but that's what war brings. We don't like what we see, but we just want to tell the truth. So that's why we're sharing this video with you. You can see the way they held the guy, beat him up. Finally, they dug a grave and put him there. They even gave him a cigarette to smoke so that he can have some pleasure. When the guy finished smoking the cigarette, they dug a hole and put him inside. So this is really sad. I hope his family can see this. We're saying that war is terrible, but this is what happens when people don't understand that war is not good. When there is war, terrible things happen to people, which is why we always want to avoid war. Okay? So we hope the people who are ruling Cameroon, as Mr. Biya, the king, can understand that war is not good because more and more people will be killed. When you kill Ambazonians, their families also want to retaliate. So you have a whole lot of revenge killings going on. At one point, it was like there was peace in Manfe Manu division, but that has all changed. This week, you can see a whole lot of restoration forces from Ambazonia who stormed Manfe town, and they took over the town and they burned the gendarmerie headquarters and killed over 5 soldiers. And we hear the killing continues as we speak. So they took these soldiers unaware. They didn't know the Ambas guys were coming. But we always knew that whenever you're killing people, they always want to revenge. That's the sad part about war. Don't feel like you are strong enough, you kill the people and nothing will happen to you. When you kill people, they want to revenge. And we're really sorry when we saw these images. In fact, our sorrow even goes to the Bishop Andrew Nkea. He was just complaining that in the area where he is bishop, in like the Manfe area, most of his priests cannot really travel to serve masses because most of the Amba boys have been harassing them and beating them. So he has just been complaining. So, well, the Bible says, don't touch my anointed. But it looks like the Amba guys are not even listening to his pleas. So we really ask the Amber guys to stop targeting the priests. The priests are men of God. We don't think they are supporting La République, because if you remember, during the Grand Dialogue, Bishop Kea risked his life to challenge the Paul Biya government. So why are we targeting the priests? The priests are not really our problem. The problem is the dictator and the slave master France. So we need to understand this. So we urge all the restoration fighters to stop targeting priests. And by targeting priests, you're making the job of serving God more difficult. So we're begging, please stop targeting priests, okay? Bishop Kea has really asked us to plead on his behalf, and we, conscientious Christians, are asking the Amber Restoration Forces to stop targeting the priests, okay? Then you could see an installation done by the Amber Boys in Nguti, part of Upper Bayan. Look at the video.
Administrative authorities, forces of law and others, municipal authorities, head of public services, elites and population of Nguti subdivision, in execution of the provision of the decree that has just been read. This is your divisional officer, Mr. Etengenen Kevin Oben, take command.
When we watched this video, initially we thought that probably it was La République that was installing its official, until somebody told us that, oh no, this is fake. The guy just bought those uniforms. This is not really the government of Mr. Paul Biya. These are just the Amber guys who have decided to set up this installation ceremony. But it looks like La République has been having a whole lot of problems installing a lot of its officers in many areas of the northwest and southwest regions. Okay? Paul Atanganji, I think, was forced with Okala Bilai to install a DO who was supposed to go somewhere. He was installed in Boya instead of installing him in Lebialem, because Field Marshal has made it impossible to install all those people in those places. So as you can see, things have really become really tough in all these areas. But as we say, we need to learn that war is not good. We need to really become masters of our own destiny. So those of us who are in the diaspora, please, we want to become capitalist niggers so that we can stop wars like these ones. If we had the means, it would have been easy for us to stop the war. So we've come to the end of our show, and we want to thank you very much for watching this show. We continue to ask you to subscribe. Thank you very much.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.